Okay, so anyway, the next thing we want to talk about is number 2, the false arrest. Okay, constitutional corner. Well, here we have a situation where a county sheriff, Joseph Quiles or Quiles, T-boned one Tanya Weyker.
Wait a minute, when you say T-bone, what do you mean?
He drove his car into the middle of her
Are you
car.
talking about through a stop sign?
Well, he coincidentally he actually ran a stop sign, but that was but he forgot, he left that out of his police report.
Oh, he left that out.
Oh yeah, he just like, oops, how did that happen? He left that out of the police report, and of course that would be a misdemeanor.
Would
right?
that also be his blaming on the video?
Yeah, well the thing is, it wasn't his dash cam video, but apparently there's a surveillance video that shows that the cop ran the stop sign.
Wait a minute, the cop ran the stop sign, he runs into a car, then what happened?
Well, he arrested the victim for
Wait a minute,
DUI.
was he driving a police car at the time or
Yeah.
a plainclothes car?
I believe it was the sheriff's car.
Oh, he was driving a sheriff's car, runs a stop sign, hits a car. Now,
T-bones.
he T-bones a car. Now, what happened to the person in the car that he hit?
Well, the person in the car was like slurring.
Oh.
Couldn't do the field sobriety test.
After being hit by a car,
After
I would
being
say,
T-boned,
I would think
yeah.
there'd be a problem.
Well, she broke her neck. You
Well,
know. Yeah, and so, but
I think that's a little difficult to start walking the line if you have a broken neck.
Well, anyway, so that was the reason they arrested her for driving under the influence.
They arrested her for driving
Oh
under the
yes,
influence,
oh yes.
But she was the one in the right of way.
She was slurring her words, couldn't, stand with one foot, couldn't
But
do.
she had a broken neck.
Well, yeah, every one of these rotten criminals has an excuse.
Oh, you mean you get pulled over for DUI, everyone
Yeah.
has an excuse that I have a broken neck.
Right.
And I just got hit by a police car.
Yeah, and so anyway, she was blamed for the collision, right? The DA charged her with the DUI.
The DA charged her.
Yeah, and now even after the videotape showed that the cop ran the stop sign and ran into her, the DA still wanted her to pay for all the damages.
Was the cop drunk?
We don't know. The cop wasn't tested. So
It
we
wasn't
really
tested,
don't.
so we don't even know if he was intoxicated or not.
We don't know. So anyway, but the issue is the cop filed a false police report, right? But that hasn't been charged against him. And that would be a misdemeanor.
Well, that's at discretion of the district
Yeah, and
attorney.
so, but the DA hasn't gone after the cop for filing a false police report. And also, not only did the cop file the police report that said it was her fault, which was contradicted by the video, which is what saved her, he also filed for disability.
Well, disability, it's a right. If you're a union member, disability is a right. And so what happened when he filed? Did he get the disability?
Well, I think that's still being looked at right now. But what's interesting about this is, when you go in front of a judge, you go in front of a jury, everyone says, oh, the cops are always telling the truth and the defendant's always lying. Well, here you've got the videotape that contradicts that. And this guy, basically framed Tanya Weyker. It was a false arrest, a false police report. And it shows that, the police aren't all that perfect all the time. They can be filing false reports to cover their arrears.
Well, in a case like that, I think what has to happen is the district attorney. Now, is this a large community or a small community?
Well, this is Milwaukee.
Milwaukee.
So, yeah.
So we're not talking about a little corner
Hobonk,
store where
yeah.
everyone knows everybody. We're talking about a city.
Right.
Okay, and are we talking about a city that is this a city police officer?
No, this is a county sheriff.
A county sheriff.
Milwaukee County Sheriff,
Okay.
Joseph Quiles.
Okay, now I have a
Or
question.
Quiles.
Has anything about his recitation of the accident, has it ever been questioned?
Well, I mean, it was contradicted by the video, and that was the saving grace. And now there's, this happened in February of 2013. So the fight goes on. The fight
Okay,
still
so I
goes
have a
on.
question. Did he get his disability?
I don't know. At this point, we don't know. I mean, I don't know. I don't think he has yet, but he did file for it. But Tanya Weyker, Weyker, I'm not sure how to pronounce it. She's got a broken neck. She's out of work. She's got medical bills. And, she was charged with a DUI based on a false police report. And she was only saved by the video.
Well, I got a question. Did she try to file a lawsuit against the city for the sheriff or the county for the county sheriff that ran into her?
Well, I think there's legal action going on now.
Okay, so, and her main piece of evidence is the video.
That's what saved her. Yeah, without
Okay,
that video, she would have been probably convicted of the DUI.
Well, I got a question. Was the DUI dropped?
Yeah, I think the DUI has been dropped because when they took her blood, she was 0.00.
So that means she had no alcohol in her system.
Absolutely
and
not.
no drugs in her system.
Cold sober.
Cold sober. Instead, she's got a broken neck. How's that going for her? Is she
Well, I mean,
recovered?
I think a broken neck's not good. I mean, from the picture I saw, she had the neck brace, but I don't know the date of that picture. But I'm saying a broken neck is not something that can be taken lightly. I mean, that's for the rest of your life. You know, once you break
broken
your neck
is pretty much you're in trouble.
Yeah.
Okay, so now what? So we don't know if the officer actually secured his disability. We don't know. We know that the charges were dropped against her,
Right.
and we don't know what the status of the
but
civil case.
Well, the DA still wanted her to pay for the damages, so I don't know how that.
To the police car?
Yeah, the police car. Yeah, yeah, right. So, and probably for his disability. So I don't know if that's.
No, they're not going to pay for the disability. They could pay for. They could charge her for the damages to the police.
Well, wait
car.
a minute. No, if she's at fault, she'd be liable for his injuries.
Yeah,
too,
but
right?
if she's at fault, her insurance should pay for that.
Yeah.
But
well,
if she's not at
the
fault,
same thing.
I will tell you, her insurance company is not going to accept fault in this accident because even though that her individually may not be able to do much, her insurance company will because they'll seek subrogation from the county sheriff's department.
Yeah, but for this surveillance video.
Thank God.
But for that surveillance film, she would be on the hook for the whole thing.
But I got a question. That surveillance video, that video, did that cause a riot?
I don't think it caused, well, no, I don't think it caused a riot, no.
Okay, so we have a video, and that video still exists.
To my knowledge, yeah. Now, what's interesting, I don't know, it was called a surveillance video, so I don't know if that was actually the
I thought it was a traffic video.
I don't know if it's the red light video, but I think if it's surveillance, it might have been from a shop or something,
Well, that would have been pretty good because then it wouldn't be in the hands of the authorities.
Right. Well, if the dash cam video probably would get lost. I mean, I've worked on worked on Discovery with dash cam videos, and they
get lost.
They tend to. Well, oh, wait a minute. Oh, with that dash.
Yeah, I know. We've both done that. We know how the dash cam video. For some reason, they can't get it from the police station to the district attorney, but they seem to get every other piece of evidence without problem.
Well, it depends what's on the dash cam video.
Yeah, well, that's what I mean. That's where mysteriously the tape wasn't on.
Well, yeah, the tape wasn't on, or they lost that, or there was something wrong with the machine. Yeah.
Or it wasn't calibrated properly.
Yeah, it wasn't calibrated.
And what happens when it's not calibrated? You know what happens? I'm sorry.
Yeah.
We can't show that the officer was at fault.
Right, right. So I'm just saying, on this particular one, there was lucky, and I just don't know about the video. I haven't seen the video. I don't know, but I'm assuming that possibly it was just a store or something had a surveillance video and it picked this up.
Yeah. Well, I have a question.
And that's all. It brings up an interesting thing is because if you get pulled over a cop and you say I want to tape this or I want to videotape this, right? They can hit you with obstruction.
Obstruction of justice.
They can obstruction.
And that happens a lot here.
It happens a lot. So if you say, look, I want to tape this conversation, that may be enough for resisting arrest or assault on a police officer.
Well, you realize that for resisting
on the other
arrest,
hand, the cops can tape it, and if it's good for them, they keep it. And if it's not good for them, it
they
disappears.
destroy it. It didn't happen. Okay, well, let's pay attention to how that case goes forward because it's an interesting case.